Hello everyone. So in this video, we'll see how we can create wet maps inside of Houdini and how we can render this using the Karma XPU in the Solaris context, obviously, and using the MaterialX shader. So I saw like a lot of people had this question on how we can render the wet maps using the Solaris because the the workflow is a bit different. And to my surprise, I saw like there are like no videos about this on the internet. And the ones which we have, they are like kind of teaching rocket science in that video. So I thought like, why not just make a simple video of it? All right. So what we're gonna do is first of all, we'll just do a simple soft body simulation where we will have this squab falling from a surface, and we're going to transfer the we're going to create a attribute which is going to be called as wet, and we're going to transfer the wetness from the squab to that surface. Then we're going to take this to the Solaris, and using that attribute which has been transferred to the surface, we're going to mix two shaders, a wet and a dry shader. All right, so yeah, let's begin. So before we perform any simulation, especially when it has collision, we always want to like make the geometry much more feasible for that. And for that, I'm going to use a remesh to grade. So basically what it does, it converts everything into a VDB and then back to the polygons. So in the division size, I'm going to use something like 0.01, which is going to add lots of polygons. And I'm just going to increase the value of the adaptivity to like 1. So it just clears out most of them. And then I'm just going to use a remesh here. So basically to like bring back a very even distribution of the polygons, let's use something like 0.1 or 0.05. Okay. So we came from here to here. So we have a very good polygon flow distribution on the surface, and at the same time, our geometry is also not very complex anymore. So it gives us a very optimal kind of simulation without any intersections and all. Okay. Now, if you want to do a software body simulation, all that you need to do is just get a just type tet confirm, and you will have this vellum configured tetrahedral soft body. So basically what it does, it adds a tet confirm which converts your hollow geometry into a solid geometry, and it adds a tetrahedral constraints. Okay. And then we're just going to use a vellum solver, and let's just connect them, and we're going to use this as the collision. So if we have a look now, let's see what do we have. So a lot of people, they don't really know about what is tetrahedral. So basically by default, whenever you create any kind of geometry inside any 3D software, it's always hollow. It does not has any polygon inside it because there's no reason to do that. But when you want to do a simulation like soft body simulation, so in that case, the object actually squishes. So it needs to have some volume inside. Now, the case with RBD is different because it never squishes. But when we talk about soft body simulations, it actually squishes. So if you want to squish something, we'll have to have some data inside the geometry. And let's say if I use a clip node here, just to show you what happens inside the 3D geometry, you can see we do not really have anything over here. Okay. But as soon as we add this tet confirm, you can see like, now if I use a clip node after you tet confirm, you can see we actually fill the geometry with polygons. Okay. So let's remove this. Let's go to the vellum solver. And if I do the simulation, you can see it's falling and it's getting squished and all. And if you feel it's like getting, if it's getting stretched a bit too much, you can go here. And we have this stiffness option, so you can just increase this value. But for my case, I think this is fine. Okay. All right. Now let's come to the actual part where we'll see how we can transfer the wetness. So let's say if this object is wet and if it's rolling over some surface, we'll have to transfer the water from here to there, and we want to make the surface wet and so on. So let's see how we can do that. And before doing that, obviously we'll have to get the original geometry. So this is the simulated geometry, and this was the original geometry. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a object merge here. And in order to transfer the data from a like simulated geometry to the original geometry, we use a point deform. So point deform, it basically looks at the the simulated geometry, and it tries to transfer that average point data to the original geometry. Okay, so the first input says mesh to deform, so I want to deform this mesh. Second input says the rest point lattice. That means the simulated geometry but the rest frames of that. So this is the simulated geometry, and let's just hold this frame. So it will just make that static. And let's input this, and the last input says the deform points. Okay, so this is what we get. So we have the simulation on the original geometry now. All right, so now I'm just gonna null this out, and I'll just call this squab. And I'm just gonna use an object merge here to bring the collision geometry here. So we want to transfer wetness from this squab to this collision geometry. Okay, so let's create a wet attribute first. So I'm just gonna use an attribute create. Okay, and I'm just gonna call this wet. So this geometry is going to be wet, so I'll just keep it to 1. Okay, and this geometry is going to be not wet or dry, so I'm gonna keep this value to like 0. Okay, and now if I just use an attribute transfer, so the geometry transfer attributes to, so I want to transfer the attributes to this geometry and from this geometry. And if I click on this, and if I just choose the wet, okay, and if I just visualize that thing here, so you can see this is what we get. So just play with this distance threshold. So when this geometry it starts to come close, it will start to transfer the attributes. We can use something like 0.1 or so. Okay, and this is what we have. However, it's not looking very good because we do not have enough points data on a raster geometry. So I'm just going to use a remesh here. Okay, and let's use something like 0.1. Okay, so this is what we have. And now you can see like it is able to transfer the data, but the problem is that data does not stays. Okay, now why exactly does this happen? So whenever we are dealing with any 3D software, it does not by default keeps the memory of the last frame. If you want to keep the data from the last frame, what we'll have to do, we'll have to like use some node for that. Okay, and that is where the SOP solver comes in. Okay, so let's see what I'm talking about. So let's type solver, and let's get a solver here. And it has 2 inputs. The first one is like the initial geometry, wherever you want to take the action. And the second geometry, like whatever you want to bring it. So I just want to bring this thing in here. Okay. And I'm just going to cut this thing. Let's go inside this. Okay. And let's paste this. So by default, you can see like, we have this line, which is also known as sacred timeline. So whatever comes in goes out. Nothing happens unless you change something. So we brought something in into the second input. And if I take the attributes from the second input, you can see like, it says input 2. And if I transfer it to the sacred timeline, and now if we have a look, you can see, it stores the data on each and every frame. But the cool part is we can also dry this out. So if I start to multiply this data by a value which is less than 1, we can kind of, erase that data on every frame little by little. So if I just use an attribute adjust float, okay, and if I choose the wet here, and here we in the operation, let's just change it to the multiply, and let's use something like 0.9. And now you will see the wetness will be multiplied by a value of 0.9 on every frame, which will start to fade this out. Okay. And if you use a value which is like lot less, so it's going to get multiplied by 0.2 on every frame, which will fade it out even faster. Okay. However, I'm just going to use something like 0.99. So it stays there for a very long period of time and then it slowly dries out. But the cool part is why just to stick with a constant number when we can use a noise itself. So if I change it to the noise, okay, now you can see we have a minimum and the maximum value. So in some areas it's getting multiplied by 0 and in some areas it's getting multiplied by 1. So wherever it gets multiplied by 0, it becomes 0 right away, it gets dry, and wherever it's getting multiplied by 1, it stays like that forever. So what I want to do is I want to use something like 0.99, okay, and a value of 0.95. So in some areas it gets multiplied by 0.99, so it stays wet for a longer period of time, and in some areas it's 0.95, so it dries out rather quickly. Okay, so we start to get these kind of shapes, and if you feel it's like kind of too complex, we can just use a value of like 2. So we are increasing the size of the noise, and now in some areas we have some randomness, like in some areas it's drying out much quickly. Okay, so yeah, that is it. So let's take everything to the Solaris and let's render it out. So I'm just gonna null this thing out and let's just call this the collision. Okay, and this is our squab. All right, so let's change this to the stage and let's change this to the Solaris. So I'm just gonna use a SOP import to import the geometries and let's paste the path here. So this is for the squab and let's call the squab. So I'm just gonna copy the name from here and paste it over here and let's make a copy here. Let's change this to like collision. Okay, let's merge both of them and let's add an environment light and let's also get a camera over here. So let's click on the camera. Okay, so I'm just gonna browse for the HDRI here and let's see how it looks in the render. Okay, so this is what you have, and right now we are not using any denoiser or anything. So I can just go here and add a Karma node here, the Karma setup, and let's click on this and change the engine settings to like XPU, and in the image output let's change it to the denoiser, so it's using the denoiser now and everything will be like much faster now. So there's no point of using Karma XPU without the denoiser, obviously. All right, so now let's get the material setup here. So I'm just gonna create a material library and I'm just gonna use a material linker. Okay, let's go here and let's get a material builder, Karma material builder, and let's call this floor, or you can call it collision, whatever you want. Okay, and the way I'm going to work with this is, first of all, I'm just going to create two materials. Okay, so this one is going to be the red, and then I'm just going to make a copy of this, and this one will be green in color. So I can blend between both of them and see how it's going. Okay, and now I want to use a material X mix. Okay, so this is the first input and then the second input, and all of this goes out over here. Okay, now how exactly do we want to mix everything? So we're going to use a, obviously we're going to use a attribute for that. So if you want to import those attributes, you'll have to use a geometry property value. So I know, yeah, it's a bit different than the usual one, and just put it into the mix, and over here you can just type the red, so whatever is the original name of the attribute. Now by default it does not knows from where it needs to take, but as like from where it needs to take the attribute. But as soon as you apply the and yeah, it's changing name here, let's call it floor. Okay, and as soon as you apply this material to that object which is carrying the attribute, it should start to work. Okay, let's go forward and you can see, like, it's that successfully bring the attributes here. Okay, and let's look at the render. So this is what we're having. Okay, so the green color here is supposed to be the dry. Okay, so let's call this dry, and this one is supposed to be a wet. Okay, all right, so let's give it some color. So for the dry, I'm just gonna use a gray kind of color. Okay, and over here I'm just gonna use something like dark red, like, it's transferring some blood or something. Okay, now once again for the dry, in the specular I'm gonna reduce specular, sorry, and increase the roughness, and in the wet I'm just gonna increase the specular and just decrease the roughness. I think just as it is, and if you want you can just make it a bit more dark. So this is what we get, and let's just make a quick preview. So I'm just gonna go here into the render settings and let's change it to like 20 or so, and let's make a preview and let's see how it looks. All right, so this is what we're having, and I think it's looking really good. You can see, like, in some areas it's drying out pretty fast, in some areas, it's trying to preserve the value and it's drying slowly. Now there's one thing, like, you might have quite hard edges here, and if you just want to fix that, the fix is very easy. You can just go back here and you can go to the like, after the solver you can just use an attribute blur, and you can just basically use the attributes here to the wet, and you can just put the step size to a lower value. Okay, if you want to do this aggressively, you can just increase this value, but just keep it to the 1 and just play with the step size, and that should do it. Okay, you can just add a little bit of softness around the edges. Or let's say, and if you just want to render out everything, just go to the Karma render settings. You can increase this value to whatever you want. And for the final thing, just make sure this is set to a specified range. Make sure you have a camera, and just go to the override output image and save wherever you want. All right, so yeah. So for the final thing, in this blur, I just added a little bit of bump map here. And you also saw this result where we are transferring the color from the object. So what I did here was I just simulated, we just simply simulated the soft body first of all, and we just converted all of that into the points. And from these points, again, we just use the solver node to transfer the color attribute. Instead of creating a wet attribute, we just directly transfer the color attribute. And on the Karma XPU MaterialX, we just imported everything using the MaterialX geometry property value, and we just gave it to the base color. And yeah, for the final thing where you can see so in this one, that was quite hefty one. So what's happening here is these objects, they are falling, and we are generating some kind of again same wet map, black and white map. Okay, and where uh, once we generate the maps, we just go to the final frame and we just stop everything, and we just scatter points over there. Then when these objects, they fall, they get close to those points, we just use an alpha to make them visible by transferring the alpha. And then we are just doing a pop grain simulation, and then we are activating those grains based on the distance from the geometry. However, we are not activating all of them. You can see not all of them are activated, some of them are activated and some of them are not. And then when those activated points, they go closer to the unactivated points, they activate them again. So it's a very complex kind of look and kind of setup as well. So that is what it's making it look so cool. And this is something that we cover in the class. However, it's not really possible to make a tutorial for this because it's gonna take a lot of time. Maybe we'll see if we can do that in the future, but you can definitely join our classes if you want to learn these kind of stuff. So again, everything is coming from the base, everything is coming from the scratch, everything is very simple, no vex, no warp, nothing like that. And just by using the basic stuff, we are able to create these kind of things. All right, so yeah. So if you want to check out our free demo classes, 20 days demo classes, you can head over to demo.indianvfxschool.com. And also, if you complete the first project in the given time, you'll be able to get a good discount on the main course. Okay. And if you want to wait for the upcoming course, which is an advanced course, and if you feel all this shit is too easy for you, you can wait for that as well, which is Houdini Hollywood. And it's coming in few months. I mean, it's been coming since last 3 years, but finally it's coming in 3 months now. Okay. And you can wait for that course, and you can just pre-register for that. And we'll be creating shorts from all those big movies like Dune, Avengers, Ghost Rider, and all that stuff. All right, so yeah, that is it. And let's meet in the next video. Bye bye.